The content of our videos is provided for entertainment purposes only. The night Prince Harry agreed to appear with Piers Morgan, no one expected a gentle chat, least of all Piers. Years of tension between the blunt-spoken host and the determined Duke finally converged under hot studio lights, and the air felt heavy with things neither man planned to leave unsaid. What started as a standard sit-down hardened into a duel, the kind that leaves both sides bruised and a whole lot of viewers stunned. Piers Morgan Uncensored was unusually hushed that evening. The normal buzz was replaced by a loaded quiet, as if the room itself were bracing. Piers sat upright, composed but coiled. Across from him, Prince Harry wore a dark navy suit with the collar open and no tie, his familiar scruff framing a face that looked weary and resolute. No smile, no nod, just a steady stare, hands folded, waiting. Piers leaned in with that careful mix of courtesy and edge. "Your Royal Highness," he began, "thanks for coming. It's been a while since you've done an interview that wasn't, shall we say, curated." Harry let a small smirk slip. "Well, Piers, unlike you, I don't need to shout to stay relevant. I'm here because people want the truth, not tantrums." A ripple passed through the crew. Piers didn't flinch. "Starting strong, I see. Let's get to that truth. You say the media shattered your peace, but you've also made speaking to the media your platform. How do you square that?" Harry shifted, unbothered. "It only looks like a contradiction if you can't tell the difference between being exploited and telling your own story. If I don't speak, people like you will fill the gaps and twist them." Piers tapped a pen, slow and skeptical. "Convenient. You say you dislike attention, yet you've done more interviews in the last 3 years than the rest of your family combined." Harry tilted his head. "There's a difference between controlling a narrative and feeding the noise. You live off noise. I live off truth." The temperature rose. Piers folded his arms. Truth is a bold word from someone accused of rewriting history in his own book. Harry's jaw set. "I didn't rewrite anything. I corrected what people like you distorted. You call it rewriting. I call it reclaiming." The rhythm quickened. The usual Piers command of the room faced a steady, needling pushback. Harry's pauses, the faint smirk, the refusal to yield. Piers flipped a page. "Let's talk family. You say you want reconciliation, yet the interviews, the memoir, the Netflix deal, those actions seem to torch bridges faster than anyone can rebuild them. What have you done to repair the damage?" Harry arched a brow. "Repair? I'm not the one who broke it. But sure, let's pretend everything's my fault. That's the story your viewers expect, the ungrateful prince who ran from his palace." Piers's voice dropped. "Most people want honesty. You speak of healing, but your choices keep deepening the rift. Even tonight, you've walked in with the very arrogance people see in you." Harry's smile turned taunting. "I don't need to be liked, Piers. I'm here to say my truth. If that's too much for people, that's their issue." The opening politeness had left the building. Piers squared his notes. "All right, your truth. Let's be specific. You say the press hunted you and your wife. You say the institutions failed you. At the same time, you signed multi-million-dollar media deals, a podcast, a docuseries, and a tell-all memoir. Where's the line between exposure and authorship?" Harry's mouth tightened into something that wasn't quite a smile. "It's only a contradiction if you refuse to see the difference. I'm not asking for your blessing. I'm pushing back against a hostile record." "Correction or catharsis?" Piers asked. "Because many readers saw less of a correction and more of a bonfire of family." Harry laced his fingers. "There it is. You want contrition for speaking plainly." "Not happening." "No one asked for contrition," Piers said evenly. "I'm asking for clarity. You claim you want peace, yet you choose primetime stages. Why another televised sit-down if reconciliation is the goal?" "Peace doesn't come from pretending the bruises aren't there," Harry shot back. "And yet," Piers replied, "most people don't patch a family by performing the wound for an audience." Cameras hummed. A light hissed overhead. Harry leaned in. "Accountability? From you? The man who calls others hypocrites for ratings? That's rich." Piers let it pass. "You've raised safety, privacy, dignity, all valid. But you also launched a public campaign about private grievances and bristled when people reacted. Are you after privacy or prime time?" "I'm after fairness," Harry said. "You act like telling my story costs me my humanity. It doesn't. I'm not a prop for your nostalgia about a family that eats its wounds with silver cutlery." "And yet," Piers said, "you sell those chapters by the page." "Better I tell it than let you steal it," Harry replied. Piers changed tack. "You say you still serve the public just differently. But you've monetized nearly every inch of your narrative. Where does service end and brand begin? Service isn't defined by a building in Westminster or a crest on stationery, Harry said. It's measured by impact. Then show us, Piers said. Not a sizzle reel substance. What measurable outcomes are you proudest of beyond awareness and applause? Harry bristled. I don't owe you a spreadsheet. You made impact your centerpiece, Piers said, tapping a folder. My team asked your foundation for documentation this week. We got a one-pager of talking points, no audited figures. Harry's jaw flexed. So now you're an accountant? I'm a journalist asking for receipts, Piers replied. When money and moral authority meet, paperwork matters. Harry drew a breath. What's next? Drag my wife into it. That's what you lot do when you're losing. I'm not dragging anyone, Piers said. You've made Meghan central to the story. It's fair to ask how the partnership shapes your decisions. Harry's laugh was ice. There she is, the ratings boost you can't resist. Say her name, spike your numbers, send us a royalty. I'm talking about her because you do, Piers said calmly. You present joint choices as solo virtue, then bridle when asked about the team behind them. You mean marriage, Harry snapped. A concept you only understand on a production schedule. Marriage is exactly why people assess both of you, Piers said, especially when you ask them to adopt your narrative whole. Harry's patience snapped. What do you want? Confession? Capitulation? Do I kneel to your audience and beg forgiveness for refusing to be a mascot? I want a simple answer, Piers said, voice firm. Why should people believe you're acting on principle when every move is packaged for profit? Harry's reply was soft but sharp. Believe me, because I've paid for the truth in blood and sleep and family. I walked away from an inheritance to be a person. You call it branding, I call it breathing. And yet, Piers said gently, you didn't leave the spotlight that came with the inheritance. You carried it and tried to rent it out.